What up, guys? Rancer890. Welcome to more iRacing. This is the IR18 at Barber Motorsports Park. So our first video was more of an IR18 thoughts video, and now we're gonna go into a little bit more depth into the into actually racing this place. So as you can see, just some things to go over before, important to me at least. So this is my paint scheme over here, painted by Dwayne and one of his friends. I don't remember which one. He always introduces someone different. So it's not all Snoopy-fied, but there are some Snoopy components. You see it in the thumbnail. Pepsi, Taima, model maker. I love their models, which is why it's on. And Total. Total. No reason why. I just felt like putting Total. So back towards the track. So this was Barber Motorsports Park. It is a 2.38 mile, or if you're into the Imperial stuff, 3.83 kilometers, 15 turns. I honestly don't really... The naming convention is very different for everyone, so I'm just going by whatever's officially there. So lots and lots of elevation. I don't remember how much elevation there actually is, but it's comparable to tracks like, it's not, I think it's even more than Sonoma and Mid-Ohio from what I remember. So, but those three tracks are usually the one that I love the most because of its elevation. So it was originally it was made for motorcycles, so which is why the track is made out like it is. And then they started to run IndyCar on it. They ran Pirelli World Challenge. I don't remember what else they ran. So I believe the first race was, was it 2011? I wasn't really sure. I need to look at it again. But first it became a test facility for IndyCar, and then the thing about IndyCar is that before you become an actual racetrack, you have to be a test facility. So Barber was a test facility. Gateway was a test facility for, I think, a couple of years before it finally went back to schedule this past year. Yeah, I think for the permanent courses, the street tracks, obviously you can't really test there. So technically there is hope for another test facility, like Homestead and Sebring, but those tracks are probably not gonna be on the schedule anytime soon. So let's start and go back to the track here. I think you've seen enough. I think we'll go and go right to the Hotlap. Before we go to the Hotlap, lap times, I was a bit surprised overall. We had less downforce, but most of it was from the underbody. So I was expecting slower lap times, but it actually wasn't really that slow. Like if you look at St. Pete in real life, they set lap records. Jordan King. That was a bit surprising for me, but I kind of guess we'll kind of see how it is with Barber this weekend. And one other thing, why I'm doing Barber is because I'm following the ABIL schedule. I'm not following the official one. I prefer the ABIL tracks over the official tracks, and I'm honestly better at a lot of the ABIL tracks. So don't expect to see guides from there. But if you do want to see guides, and if you do want to access the setups, this is the only time I'm going to put this plug here. I won't put this plug anywhere else. Christian Steele is with VRS. Their setup should be okay for the most part. And they should have some telemetry and guides to help you with the official series. So yeah, go over there if you want assistance and whatnot. So I think it's time to go look at the lap. I've been rambling again. Okay, so that was Hotlap, and now we're going into the actual discussion of the corner to corner kind of thing. Anyways, so one thing that I've just noticed, is that the weather for ABIL will be a lot cooler. We run fixed weather, open setup, so the weather will be a lot cooler. So this session was obviously done in default weather, so which was 108-degree track temp, I believe. So the lap times itself aren't going to really matter, but the lines will matter. Okay, the lines will matter. So yeah, and this will obviously be useful in official racing, because official racing this season will be at Barber as well. So I believe for the sake of this video, it's probably still better to do it in default, because if you can do it in default, you can do it in much cooler temps. So we're on the front straightaway. We're gonna be braking. So I'm in 6th gear right now. Okay, I'm in 6th gear. The great thing about the new iRacing thing is that you can see the gear and you can see the RPMs and whatnot. So, and you can see fuel remaining, you can see last lap, and blah 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 blah, and roll bars and random stuff like that. So I'm starting to brake around here right before I get to the 1. So turn 1 left-hander, there's usually a couple ways you can go. It depends how much curb you want to take on the left. I tend to not take too much because it unsettles my car, and it kind of ruins my line into turn 2. So yeah. So here I'm just trying to. So my car is just. I'm not really going over the curb too much, just right around the white line. So then we're gonna continue. You're gonna want to make sure that you're not all the way to the left. I'm not all the way to the left. So you want to hit that middle groove. That's kind of where I plan. So you see this groove right to the left of the left front tire. I kind of want to get and then there's that groove pavement on the other side. I kind of want to get my car around that area, and in the distance you kind of see a bit of the racing line there as well. So here I'm on in between these two darkened lines. I don't know, I guess you can say. So here you kind of want to get your car in this corner. Just want to start a bit turning. So I'm still trying to figure out this downforce and everything, but it's kind of similar to the DW12 in most respects actually. So so you want to make sure that you guide your car a little bit, be a little bit off throttle, and then kind of right before you see the curbs to your right, you kind of want to go full throttle. So the thing about this track is that it does take a lot of abuse from the left front tire. So later in the run, you might have some understeer. That can be rectified with setup, but if you're not very good at setup and you're just gonna roll with what you want to roll, just be wary. The left front's gonna take a beating, and be aware of it. Pretty much, just because of the amount of high-speed right-handers on this track. So I'm still around, still trying to stay to the right side here, and then I'm not full throttle yet. I'm full throttle here. So right before this the curb on the right. So as I said, new tires, it's easy to go full throttle. Older tires, the balance will change a little bit. So be wary. And even though I'm on map 7, I can't run map 1 because it's just too much wheel spin. There's really no point doing it. There's no point really trying to force the linear throttle shape on this car for now. So make sure whatever you do, minimize wheel spin. If it's map 7 helps you minimize wheel spin, then do that. So this is straightforward. We're just going full throttle. You're going through the gears. I'm stopping at 5th, and I will be stopping, stay on the right side, I'll be stopping at around the 1. So once again, as your tires start wearing, brake distances are going to increase. So make sure you don't, in the middle, later in the run, don't try and your car will slide a little bit, and hopefully you don't go in the grass. I kind of lock my brakes a little bit. So I'm going from 5th to 1st. Unfortunately, in this lap, I didn't really hit the left apex on the curb there. The goal is to hit the left apex, let the car do its thing. It'll go out to the right. There's a set of right curbs there, and you kind of want it to touch a little bit or just be right as close to it as possible, and track out. That's how you gain the most time here. I did not do it in this particular lap. See, I kind of was a bit outside. As in a bit outside, I mean I totally missed the apex, and I probably cost 2/10, probably. So the exit was actually not bad. I didn't really mind the exit too much. So you see the curbs to the right, you kind of want to let the car go to the right, and then you're gonna just move back to the left and get ready for the next complex, which is probably the most complex corners on the track to me. Well, second or most important, or second most important, and hardest as well. So I'm staying 5th here. I am starting to brake at the 1. That's as humanly as I can do it. So I am in 5th gear. You want to move down the gears. You're going to be moving down this, I would say, very, very quick set of corners. You're going to be moving down into 1st, and you're going to try and accelerate. So don't try and take too much curb here. It'll unbalance the car. I was looking at some real life footage. Ryan Hunter-Ray, he really takes it very, very nice and easy through here. Although that one is with the manufacturer aero kit with Honda, so there's a lot of downforce. There's also a lot of drag, so it's probably going to be a little bit different when the IndyCars come here in April. So back with this, so we're going to be moving down from, so here just trying to be as close to the curb as possible. I never want to hit this right curb. I don't know about others. Obviously, if you're trying to pass someone, you might have to. So, but if you're trying to pass someone here, then who knows? So just make sure it hits the curb. I mean, it gets close to the curb. Hit this left curb right in front of you, or hit a little bit. Don't hit too much, or else your car will go flying. So here I kind of take a bit. I tend to take a lot of curb here. So over half the car is on it, and you can kind of see that's kind of the line a lot of other drivers have been taking. So I assume it's the right line. Sometimes I don't touch a whole lot, maybe go a few, maybe have just the tire and less than half the car on the curb. It really depends. I've been trying to experiment a little, but this seems to be the best way to do it. So, and then you're gonna have to make sure that your car is stopped in time so it can make the right hander and you can go corner exit. If you don't, you'll lose 2 to 3 tenths. That's usually the time loss, gain loss here. So don't really hit this curb. Just make sure that your car is as close to the right curb as possible, and then you're gonna have to make sure you straighten out your wheel and accelerate, because if you don't, your car will spin, the wheels will just light up. So one other thing is, on older tires, it's going to be much harder to go on throttle after this corner, so you might lose a little bit of time, but just be wary of it. It's better to lose a little bit of time than to crash the car. So yeah. So you want to go accelerate here, go through the gears. This is flat out. Nothing really much to say here. Make sure that you are as close to both curbs as possible. Some people hit them. I don't know. I don't usually hit them. I don't really like hitting them. I usually try and get as close to them as possible. And one other interesting thing is that some people take a line, they don't really track out all the way to this right curb. They take more of a shallower entrance to this complex, and I don't know, it works for them, but has never worked for me. So once again, your mileage may vary. You might be able to run different lines, but you're going flat out. There's no braking here. This downforce will stick. So here we're going into the roller coaster. This is probably the most. It is terrifying. In real life, I hate roller coasters too. But just try and make sure that you scrub enough speed so you can make the first right. A lot of people take this section differently. This section all the way to the end of the track, end of the lap. So I take it more. I try and use the curbs. I don't mind using a lot of curbs because the car can handle it. But sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. So usually, ideally, I would want to take the curves, but if the car is a bit tight or whatever, then I try to make sure the car is on track for the most part here. So here I'll be going in 6th, and then we'll be downshifting. A lot of people I've seen, they go from 6th to 4th. I go from 6th to 3rd. I just feel that I can keep the revs up that way, and the car doesn't really bog down. I don't know. Your mileage may vary once again. People faster than me have been able to keep the speed through 4th gear. So here I'm still going full throttle. It's a very high commitment corner. That right hander after the dip here in the roller coaster, it is blind. So you're just gonna have to trust in it. I know if you're a beginner, it's probably hard to trust in it, and I probably have done 500 laps here already, maybe over more than 500 laps. That includes practice, qualifying race. I think it's definitely more than 500 laps here. So I kind of know this place pretty well. It's a really high commitment corner. If you're just starting out, I'm just gonna say this for first things first. If you're just starting out, when I learn a track, I always try and go slow, because you kind of want to learn where the elevation is, where all the little bumps are. You know that iRacing is a laser scanned tracks. They have all laser scanned tracks, so the bumps are going to be consistent. So the thing is, to go fast, first you must go slow. So do go slow. And then you'll kind of gain speed, gain some confidence, and then once you do races and whatnot, you'll, whether you're doing it for ABIL or doing it for official racing or do it for another league, or host or just a random hosted session, once you just get the laps in, you kind of get a rhythm. It becomes really, really easy, because this is very, very much so a free-flowing rhythm track. It does take some time to learn, so I'm just trying to, this is not as much as for beginners as much as it's for people who have a little bit of an idea of a track but not too sure how to go a bit faster. Or this is possibly for people who are scouting me for the league race and they want to see where I do my braking points and everything. That's fine too. This is my pace. I'm not going any faster. So here I don't really brake here. I just let off. I kind of just let the car rotate. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but this is how I've always done it, because if I take more speed, if I don't scrub enough speed, I am not making the right-hander on the roller coaster. So that is how I've always done it. So on this side, from the end of the curb is kind of where I start planning to brake. So I'll be braking, shifting down from 6th down to 3rd, trying to take as much curb on the right as possible. So I'm starting to slow the car down. I'm starting to brake here, and then I'm around halfway, 50% brake here, and I'm already down to 5th. I'll be shifting down to 4th and then 3rd as well. So here I take the usual amount of curb I usually take, actually. So here I am already in 3rd. The wheel is kind of like that. I'm starting to throttle through. Sometimes, especially later on in the run, especially this is with new tires. So later on in the run, it might be a bit sketchier. So you might have to. It won't be just you're at this part of the corner and you just full throttle and then you just go. It's never that simple. You usually have to play with the throttle a little bit just to get whatever traction. Sometimes it's hard to get traction, even especially with me. I'm not the most consistent guy, but I just try and feel it out, see how much grip there is, and then just make the decision accordingly. So here I'm kind of hesitant on throttle. I'm going on throttle because if I felt that if I went on throttle, I would probably go on the grass to the left. So make sure you hug the curb, the left curbs, and then you're going to be going down again, then that's blind as well. So here I'm a bit on the curb, I'm a bit on the left side. I actually have I don't remember if that was enough track or not, but that's sketchy. I did not realize that. So usually don't take that much curb and have two wheels on the grass, but yeah. So here I am moving back to 4th. I'll be in 5th, and then this will be the second last corner of the track, and I'll be moving down to 2nd gear. So a lot of people take this corner differently. I'll say both ways. I should have this as well. So I'm starting to brake right after the so here around, so where this line is in the middle of the track, and I'm starting to this is the second last corner of the track. I'm just getting ready to brake from 5th to 4th. I mean 5th to 2nd. So don't need too much brake. So here a lot of people do things differently. So I probably take less speed than most people, or aliens, of course. So I'm kind of trying to make sure the car is slowed down in time to hit the apex. I don't remember if I hit the apex in this corner in this lap, actually. So a lot of people, so this is kind of the line that I take. So I follow the two darkened pavement lines. Some people take more of approach where they they don't turn in as early. It's more of a late apex sort of thing. So there's a good and there's bad, I guess. So if you take the later apex, I guess there's more of a it's a better flowing corner, I would have to say. That you don't lose as much time with that. But the thing is that you're kind of upset. If someone's near you, they could dive bomb you. So I kind of on the error of caution, I rather just run this line, just so I don't have to get worried about dive bombs, and the lap doesn't really make a huge difference anyways. I'm not sure, I haven't looked at how the fast guys really do it, but I've seen a couple different lines through here, and I'm also on a single screen, so I kind of want to see my apexes on the screen, so which is kind of why I want run the line that I run, and it usually works out for me. I don't really see that I'm running, if I run the alternate line, if I'm any faster. So here I'm probably scrubbing a little bit too much speed, but I do want to hit the apex and I want to find a good rhythm. So with a lot of the track, I'm kind of compromising a lot in this lap because I'm more of in race mode. If you drive the car too hard, it's just the tire wear is a lot more than I thought it would be. So which is kind of why I could push a bit more, but it'll just destroy the tires a bit more. So which is why I try not to go crazy with the lap time. I try to make sure that they're consistent so I don't lose a whole lot of drop off. So that's kind of my approach, and that's probably my approach for the race. It's probably just to be consistent. If you're consistent, you'll finish the race. If you're not consistent, you basically have no tire left at the end, and you can't really defend the way you want to defend. So you want to hit this curb, or sometimes I hit this curb, sometimes I just touched a little bit. I don't remember what I did for this one. Sorry for the moving between the actual inputs and the full. Okay, so once again we're here, touch the curb a little bit. So actually I don't touch the curb at all. I'll make sure that sometimes I touch it, sometimes I don't. I feel that you gain a little bit more time if you touch the curb, so do try and not be like me. So here so I am in, I think I'm in third, I know I'm in second. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm as far to the right as possible, in this case right to the right line. And this last corner to the left, there's usually I've been trying two different approaches. I'm not sure which one's better. I've been just trying the approach that saves me the most tire. So I'm not looking too much at lap times. I'm looking at making sure that the tires don't die, because the front tires are kind of dying at the end. So so here I don't go all the way to the left side of the track because I don't really need to. So I just want to make sure that I around the middle, or actually ideally I would be a bit more to the right of the track just to have a better attack, because here if I'm here, I'm trying to take this angle to the left. I can't really attack it as much as I would want to because I'm not wide enough. So that's kind of why I probably lost a little bit of time. If you can get your car to the right of the track, as far right of the track as you can see here, I'm leaving a lot of space here. So if you take a wider line, you can I don't know if my browser mouse browser is showing, but if you're right on the car's right on the right side of the white line, you can take a much shallower entry into the final corner, and you can get a lot more speed. So with what I did wrong here is that because of I compromised my own line by not really going all the way to the right, it's a much harder to get attack of this last corner. And if I hit the curb, I'll probably do not hit the right left curb. I don't think it really you won't gain any time on it. So so yeah, This position is not very good. So so here I kind of hit the curb a little bit, which is not really what I want to do. So here there's two approaches. One is to take second gear. I think if you go all the way to the right, you can just go second gear, no problem, third, fourth, whatever, onto the start finish. But here, this angle, more, sometimes I short shift, sometimes I don't. It really depends on how the tires are like. So here I'm on the throttle, second, third, and later in the run you might get a little bit understeer here. I haven't really seen it a whole lot, but I think it is a little bit possible. So if you can't make this corner, so just be wary of that as well. And that's pretty much start finish, and that is the end of the. So that is that. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hopefully I gave enough of a decent explanation. Not the most technical guy, but I try my best to give people somewhat of an idea what they could do, and people who are faster than me can probably explain it better than me, but I've explained to the best of my ability, and hopefully the video helps. Whether you're doing ABIL, whether you're doing a league race, whether you're doing a official racing, whatever. Fun track. Barber's a fun track. There's a lot of it's challenging to learn, just because it's not the, once you get it, it flows, but before you get it, it's like, what is this? So just saying, it took me 300 laps to figure this place out. Well, I'm not alien fast, but I feel more confident here. So it's all about getting the rhythm, getting the seat time, getting the yeah. Lost my train of thought again. Just keep practicing, but make sure it's good practice. Make sure you're comfortable. That's kind of the most important thing. Once you're comfortable with the track, you can start pushing, and then once you start pushing, you'll make some mistakes along the way, but you'll gain your lap time, and you'll gain your consistency and whatnot. So it's a really fun track. I recommend that you have a go at it, because it's very technical, but there's places to pass. There's strategy that you can use. I've not tried push to pass yet, but I'm pretty sure that will be great as well. So that is that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, click like. If you want to make some comments, how good it was, or how terrible it was, how I didn't say something, just put it in the comments. If you want to see more, click the subscribe button. So, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll have the Twitter link in the description as usual. If you want to listen to me randomly talk about random things, which might or might not be related to sim racing, do that as well, and we will see you on the track. Hopefully it was very useful. If not, do tell, and I'll try and improve it, because I've not done one of these in a long while. I'm really excited for the racing here. So once again, thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time.